Welcome back to the channel. I'm Saiku, and today we're taking a closer look at one of the most explosive Senate hearings in recent years. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testified before Congress for over 3 hours. And in that time, he revealed shocking claims about the CDC, COVID-19, and pharmaceutical influence in politics. To help break it all down, I'm joined by Dr. Zahara Lord, a public health researcher and policy analyst. Dr. Lord, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Saiku. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, this hearing was certainly one that people will be talking about for a long time.
Let's start with the first big revelation. Kennedy claimed that the CDC once found evidence suggesting a link between vaccines and autism, but that the data was later destroyed. How serious is that allegation?
It's very serious. Whether or not the evidence was conclusive, destroying data undermines public trust. The scientific process is supposed to be transparent. If data was removed from the record, it raises questions about accountability and whether critical findings were hidden from both the public and the scientific community.
Next, Kennedy turned his attention to COVID-19. He accused pharmaceutical companies of concealing information during the pandemic. What stood out to you about that moment?
What stood out was the way Kennedy connected corporate profit motives to public health policy. He argued that financial incentives shaped the information we received, and whether you agree with him or not, that's an important issue. It reminds us that transparency and independent oversight are essential when so much money is involved.
Then Senator Ron Johnson entered the discussion with VAERS data, showing tens of thousands of reported vaccine injuries. How did that shift the tone of the hearing?
That was a critical moment. VAERS isn't perfect, but it's an official government system for tracking vaccine safety. When that data was brought into the Senate record, it put pressure on Pharma's defenders because it wasn't speculation, it was government-collected information. It forced a conversation about safety signals that can't just be brushed aside.
Things got especially heated when Senator Elizabeth Warren clashed with Kennedy. But then her own pharmaceutical contributions, over $850,000, were revealed. How does that affect her credibility in this debate?
It complicates her position. Even if her arguments were made sincerely, the financial connection to the pharmaceutical industry creates an appearance of bias. It makes it difficult for the public to believe her stance is completely independent of those contributions.
And then there was Senator Bernie Sanders. In trying to defend Warren, he admitted that nearly every politician in Washington has taken money from pharmaceutical companies. It sounded less like a defense and more like a confession. How do you interpret that?
I agree, Saiku. It was revealing. He probably meant it as an explanation of how the system works, but in doing so, he essentially confirmed the public's suspicions, that corporate influence is deeply embedded in politics. Instead of lessening the concern, it highlighted the scale of the problem.
So by the end of this hearing, Kennedy wasn't the one on the defensive. Instead, it was his critics who had to explain their ties to the pharmaceutical industry. In many ways, this hearing turned into a masterclass in exposing influence and raising questions about accountability. Well said. Dr. Zahara Lord, thank you for joining me today and helping us break this down. And to everyone watching, before the mainstream outlets spin this story, I encourage you to go back, watch the clips yourself, and make up your own mind. If you found this discussion helpful, do me a favor. Hit the like button, share this video with others who need to hear it, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I read every one of them, and I want to know what you think. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss conversations like this. I'm Saiku, thank you for watching, and as always, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking questions.